All right, you guys, I'm here with Ariana at the Arnold Sports Festival. It is her first time here on the stage. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling awesome. I'm feeling very excited and honestly just honored to be here. This is one of those opportunities that you don't get always, and sometimes you just have to take a risk, apply to things like this, and just hope for the best. So I just feel very honored and just grateful to be here. So.
It's a really cool experience. Have you been to the Arnold in the past? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Just as a spectator. So this is all very new to me as competing as an athlete.
So how's like the treatment as far as an athlete?
Oh my
goodness. Are they doing a good job?
Yes. I will say this is hands down the best treatment so far from an athlete perspective. I mean, the fact that we have microwaves in our room and that's not an issue. I'm like, that's
something so simple,
yes,
right?
Yes. That's honestly, it's gold. And then, there's help everywhere that we need it. Everyone's willing to help. There's signs everywhere. So honestly, just having a big support around, even though it's not your friends or family, but just everyone here that just wants to help you. Yeah. I'm like, that means a lot in a high pressure setting. So
yeah. So it's cool because you can just relax and come to do what you came to do.
Exactly.
Exactly. Which, on that note, it's only been a few months since the Olympia.
Yeah.
So what have you done to improve since the Olympia? What have you changed?
Yeah. So we changed a lot. So I definitely had to work on lower body. Okay. So I had to build back a little bit more glute, a little bit more quad, just overall leg development. So that was our focus after the Olympia. So definitely heavier training, higher food. I mean, we had to put back on some muscle. So we did. And I think going into this Arnold, we feel very confident about bringing this package. So I'm very excited to see where it stands and honestly go from there as far as if we need to change, what we need to change, and then keep moving forward with this year. So,
yeah, because you were just really kind of getting into the groove and everything at the end of last year.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, and I was just saying, I've interviewed a bunch of people already today. You're the only one that's even remotely close to my height.
Yeah.
So, we know that it takes a little bit more work to put that size on and put that density on and that conditioning and at the same time control the waistline and all those kinds of things too. Yep. So what would you say has been the biggest change over the last few months? Has it been your training or has it been your diet or what has been the difference?
Honestly, training.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't realize how much I was terrible at it. Oh, okay. And it's not even that I was I didn't know what to do. It was just my intensity.
Okay.
Right. So I thought, I'm really killing it at the gym. You know, I'm definitely sore. I'm working myself for sure. I'm tired after them. No. I mean, it was a whole new level. I mean, I had to have my husband train me and James came and trained me as well. It was a different level. So I'm I was definitely slacking.
It was one of the things though, probably you didn't know what you didn't know.
No,
exactly. You didn't realize that you were underdoing it.
Yes.
So, but you're right. I mean, even I've said that over the last year or so myself. It's as soon as you start picking that intensity up, you're damn, I was missing out on a lot.
Yes, and a lot of muscle that you can have.
Yeah.
I had no idea, but that's when I started seeing the changes, and I was like, you know what? I need to make sure I never do this to myself again. Yeah. Now I know what to do, and I'm grateful for that because I mean, this is all a journey, right? So we learn as we go.
You also probably get a little bit almost complacent. You just get comfortable with where you are.
Yep.
And then when you start doing something different and you see the change, you're like, oh, shit.
Yes,
exactly. This makes a huge, huge difference.
It does.
Right?
Yep.
So other than the training and stuff like that you've changed, what are you bringing into the show this year that's different than the Olympia? Is there anything specific that you're doing differently?
Honestly, just making sure that my lower body, for the most part, matches my upper body. Because as I looked back, especially comparing photos now, I'm I didn't realize how much my upper body was overpowering my lower body, right? So that wasn't necessarily my feedback, but it was I didn't have that balance.
Yeah.
So I think making sure my balance is here now, I think has been the main focal point. And again, I guess we'll just see kind of where it lands and stacks up with everyone else too. But I feel confident about it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and what did you do to manage the time frame? Did you go into an actual off season, or did you just kind of stay relatively lean and just kind of keep pushing into the show and all that?
So we stayed lean as we could.
Yeah.
But in a higher calorie, I guess I would say reverse.
Okay.
So you need more food in order to grow. But so we did that, and we like to keep it moderate. So once I had gained obviously a certain amount, then I was like, okay, looking at my physique too, I don't want to hit, too much body fat at this point. It looks like your muscle's there. So let's start seeing what we have underneath it, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, that's kind of what we did. So it was a slow process, but it was enough time to build.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was going to happen. I guess, in a shorter amount of time. But honestly, sometimes when you're in a pinch and under pressure, sometimes you can make stuff happen.
I also think, like, we've talked about this on, like, behind the bikini too. Like, when you keep your body in relatively good condition, you can actually see your body changing in front of you.
Yes.
So it's almost a little bit more motivating.
It is.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I can actually see the fruits of my labor.
Yes, exactly.
You know? So it makes you push a little harder.
Yes. Especially during check-ins, you see them each week, and then you see your body changing each week. And like, not only in a prep when you're losing weight, but even when you are gaining weight, right? Where does that distribute? So,
yeah. So with that, are you feeling good right now? Are you feeling like this is the start of your season, or are you going to take some time, or what is your plan after the show?
Definitely the start of my season. I definitely want to qualify for this year's Olympia. Okay. So obviously this will dictate what we plan to do after and what shows. So we plan to possibly do, Charlotte Pro, possibly Pittsburgh too. But we obviously don't want to compete all year long if we don't have to, because we want to bring something good for the Olympia as long as we qualify. So that's really the ultimate goal.
Well, and then have some time to work on some improvements. Exactly. That win and qualifying again,
Have a little bit of a break in between to prepare for that. So yeah, that's the plan that we have set.
So what are your expectations for this weekend? Because one of the biggest things about this show is that there is no clear front runners here.
No,
Like somebody could just come out of nowhere and take the whole thing.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts? What do you want out of this weekend?
So honestly, I feel very confident because I feel like going into a show like this, you have to have confidence behind stepping on that stage regardless, and regardless of your past shows, you have to, right? Like, it's an honor to be on the stage. But my plan is to obviously place top somewhere, right? So that, at least to me, lets me know that, okay, what we did worked, or it's working. Now, what do we need to change moving forward to make sure that we are as successful as we can for the rest of the year? So ideally, some sort of top placing would be great, right? Only 10 of us, so first call out, second call out, I'm sure is how they might do it. So going from there is kind of what we have set. And that's kind of what we are hoping for. I mean,
at the end of the day,
you never know.
Like you want to give the politically correct answer and say, like, I want to do my best.
Right.
But you never show up to these things wanting to lose.
Of course, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to be successful in any show. Because think about it, we put so much work and effort and just time into this. We want it to be recognized.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's important to just continue showing up for yourself, regardless of your placing. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're probably going to lose a lot more than you're going to win.
Absolutely.
So, moving from there, that just shows the type of competitor that you are and how strong you are, how hard you can handle feedback. That's the mental part that people don't talk about.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. So with that said, is there anything that you can leave our listeners with that would be encouraging? Maybe something that you've thought about through this prep, or something that you're taking with you going into this weekend, or whatever it may be, just some words of encouragement.
Yes. Don't give up on yourself at all. Regardless, I went from having a year that was very high and bright, and then my next year was somewhat the opposite. But the only thing that I didn't lose was just the faith in myself, right? That year or those shows were not going to dictate me as a competitor or what I had to offer in the future. And I knew that, right? But I'm glad that I went through those things. You're going to go through those hard times, but it's just about how you handle them and how you show up at your next show, right? So again, don't get down on yourself if you don't do well. It's going to happen, and just keep working on yourself always.
Well, you learn more from your failures than you do from your successes. So with that said, going into this show, like I said, at the end of your year last year was a little bit tumultuous trying to find your look.
Right.
But you learned a lot in that process.
Exactly.
So that's why you're so excited and motivated about this weekend.
Yes, exactly.
So you had the right attitude. You took the feedback and you ran with it. You know what I mean? And that's what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have you guys on my little live commentary on Saturday.
Definitely.
So I'll be as close to that center stage as I can be. So you'll probably see me sitting there. I love this show itself anyway, just because of the stage and all that kind of stuff too. So it's going to be fun. But I'm looking forward to seeing you up there, and good luck. And like I said, anything could happen.
I know.
I actually have you as one of my dark horses that could come out and potentially win this thing. So we'll see.
Yes, we'll see.
We'll see how this goes.
Everyone's looking great. So it's hard to tell.
That's the other thing too. Everybody looks phenomenal.
I know, but that's what we want. We want this. You
want to have everybody at their best, because then you get the best competition possible. So with that, thank you so much. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys there.
Bye.